Before Barack Obama became president, black people were the priority minority in America. You are no longer the priority minority. Everybody and everybody's issues is more important than yours. You don't come before nobody. And part of this is your fault. Because when some of our leaders told you that when we fight, we should fight only for black people, you didn't listen. When they told you the civil rights bill should only be for black people, you didn't listen. They told you when we fight for better schools, we should only fight for black people, but you didn't listen. You said you had to fight for everybody. You said you had to speak for everybody. You said you had to struggle for everybody. So guess what has happened in America now? Everybody else has benefited more from everything you died for. Everybody else has benefited more from everything you struggled for, and none of those groups, not a single one, has come back to repay black people for the sacrifice we made on their behalf. So I'm saying this. Going forward, we can respect everybody else and we can wish everybody else well. But Dr. Umar Johnson will be fighting for black people only. Dr. Umar Johnson will be struggling for black people only. Yes. Dr. Umar Johnson will be advocating for black people only. Yes. If you don't learn how to put yourself first, you are guaranteed to finish last. And don't let nobody tell you that that's racism. Yes, black people cannot possibly be racist. And let me explain to you exactly why black people cannot be racist. Racism is a group system where you disadvantage and deny an entire group of people resources and opportunities because of the color of their skin. In order for black people to be racist, you have to have the power and the ability and the resources to control what another group does. You don't have the ability to take jobs from white people. You don't have the ability to take homes from Asians. You don't have the ability to deny citizenship to Mexicans. So how can you be a racist? You can't be.
That's true.
But people will play mind games on you if you don't understand your history. People will play mind games on you if you suffer from religious insecurities. I don't know if you've been paying attention, brothers and sisters, but there's a movement in this country right now that wants to eliminate the teaching of slavery forever from America's public schools. Texas, and I believe Arizona or Minnesota, a few other states that you have to double check. They're passing laws right now making it illegal to teach children about slavery. That's why I'm concerned about Juneteenth becoming a holiday the day before yesterday. Because I can see the federalization of Juneteenth as an opportunity for the government to co-opt the narrative so they can control what our children understand Juneteenth to have been. I said they may have given us a holiday so they can kill the holiday. Woo! Like they killed Dr. King Day. Like they killed Black History Month. When is the last time you had a decent Black History Month? When I was a little kid, there were Black History Month programs all 28 days. You lucky if you get one now. I remember when I was a kid, on Dr. King Day, we learned about Dr. King. Now we just go up and pick up trash. I remember once upon a time when Kwanzaa was meaningful, and now look. Because you let the government come in and take it over. Brothers and sisters, as I prepare to wrap up, not only are they trying to take slavery out of the history books of America, they also want to eliminate the teacher's ability to teach about racism in the classroom. So let me get this right. While the federal government is approving Juneteenth as a federal holiday, which means nothing for us because it's been a holiday, but while they're celebrating Juneteenth, they're letting them take slavery out the books. They're letting them take racism out the books. What good is a federal Juneteenth holiday if you're not going to teach black children the truth?
Right, yeah.
But let me say this as I leave. It's not Joe Biden's job to teach black kids where they come from.
No.
The movement to put black history in the schools was not supported by Dr. Umar, and I want to tell you why. The reason I did not support the movement for black history in America's schools is because I consider the history of African people to be too important to be taught to black children by white people. I believe that the black community should teach its own children their history. You don't see Chinese begging the government to teach Chinese their history. You don't see Mexicans begging the government to teach Mexican children their history. But why are black people begging white people to teach black kids about Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey and George Washington Carver and the Honorable Frederick Douglass and Elijah Muhammad and Ida B. Wells and Patrice Lumumba and Kwame Nkrumah? Why do you want your oppressor to tell your children who they are?
Tell them.
You got a church on every other corner. And if you got a church on every other corner, you should have a black history class on every other corner. And if you got a church on every other corner, you should have a black market on every other corner. And if you got a church on every other corner, you should have a bank on every other corner. And a hospital on every other corner. And a shipping industry on every other corner. And a manufacturing plant on every other corner.
Yes, sir.
Brothers and sisters, I love and respect all religion, but I got a problem with any religious leader who tells me I gotta die in order to experience heaven. If the white man can have his heaven on earth, I'm gonna have mine. And if the Chinese can have his heaven on earth, I'm gonna have mine. And if the Arab can have his heaven on earth, I'm gonna have mine, or I'm gonna die trying. Brothers and sisters, as I leave you, I want to give you Dr. Umar's cell number in case you ever got to reach me about your children. If you ever have a question about education or mental health, or they're trying to throw your child out of school or label your child, or they need special ed but not getting what they want, here's my number for you right now. I'll repeat it twice. 215-989-9858. 215-989-9858. So after today, whether you're here from Georgia, or whether you came from California, or Texas, or Detroit, or Chicago, or New York, after today, any black parent who has ever heard my voice, if you ever need help with your child, I better never hear you say you didn't know who to turn to because Dr. Umar gave you his personal cell phone number. Brothers and sisters, I close with a quote. And I'll be in Hartford, Connecticut next Saturday, Springford, Massachusetts next Sunday, Louisville, Kentucky, August 14th for Garvey Day, Macon, Georgia, August the 15th, New York City, October 2nd, Black Parent Boot Camp, Miami, Florida, July the 24th, Houston, Texas, July the 10th. Frederick Douglass said, if there is no struggle, there is no progress. Those who profess the faith of freedom and depreciate agitation are like men who want crops without plowing up the ground. They want rain but can't stand the thunder or the lightning. They want the ocean but they're scared of the awful roar of the waters. Frederick Douglass said this struggle we have might be moral or physical, or it might be both moral and physical, but it must be a struggle. He said for 20 years, turn that music off. Do not disrespect me. Frederick Douglass said, for 20 years, I prayed on my knees to God for freedom. But the good Lord gave me no freedom until I got up off my knees and start praying with my feet. He said, if you want respect from white people, why do you look for pity? The man who pities you will never respect you. If the man who respects you has no need for pity. Power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did and it never will. The most honorable Marcus Garvey said, without confidence in yourself, African people, you are twice defeated in the race of life. Without confidence, you are twice defeated in the race of life. But with confidence, you have won even before you have started. Don't be upset at the rain. In our culture, the rain means that the ancestors are planting a new seed for a new day, a new beginning, a new revolution, and a new victory. Black power, brothers and sisters.